Or if the bomb that drops on you gets your friends and neighbors too, there'll be nobody left behind to grieve, and we will all go together when we go. What a comforting fact that is to know.
Hello and thank you for watching the John Doe Prepper channel. I'm your host John A. Whitman, and as you can see in this video, I am finally doing some actual proper LARPing on this channel. In today's video, I'm going to be finally putting out a review of the lightweight bivy tent that I keep in this lovely little combat ruck of mine, which is not fully complete, but once I do have this ruck fully complete and set up the way I'd like it, expect a video on that as well in more depth. But for today, we're just going to focus on the bivy tent that I have in this ruck as part of my ultra light sleep system. So without any further ado, allow me to take a moment to set said bivy tent up, and then we will dive right into the things that I like and dislike about this little tent that only cost me 45 bucks on eBay.
Hey everyone, Editor John from the future here, chiming in with this quick little voiceover to talk to you about some of the modifications I made to this tent that I mostly just forgot to talk about in the video proper. So, when I first got this tent out of the box, it came in 3 separate little water-resistant fabric stuff sacks. One for just the tent itself, one for just the tent poles, and then the third and final stuff sack was for just the stakes and the chintzy little neon red cordage that they expected you to use for guy lines. So the first thing I did was ditch said neon red cordage and replace it with 4 olive green 550 cord guy lines, because they're just better in every way. They're not brightly colored, so they won't give away your position, and they are made of a type of cordage that you can trust with not insignificant amounts of tension or weight on it, so it's just better all around. From there, I ditched 2 of the 3 stuff sacks because I thought it was just overly complex and convoluted of a system for a tent that's trying to ride on the whole ultra compact, ultra light shtick. And the only one I kept was the sack that was originally meant for just the tent poles. So I was able to fit the poles, the stakes, and the guy lines all in that one stuff sack. I chose to keep that pouch specifically because it was the only one of the 3 that was entirely green in color, except for the drawstring, which was more of the same crappy neon red string, which I immediately replaced with a drab-ish green colored length of yarn. From there, talking about the tent itself for a moment, I do mention this next modification in the video, but I'll still mention it here. There was originally a reflective white strip of fabric over the entrance of the tent. I very quickly realized that that would also give away my position, and so I colored that in and blacked it out with a king-size Sharpie. From there, the other signature reduction measure that I took with the tent was that the zippers and the entrance of the tent use metal zipper tabs, which, if you know anything about those, they are very jingly. So I took some green drab-ish colored fabric tape and wrapped a few layers of that around each of the zipper tabs, both inside and out, so that the zippers don't jingle when you handle the tent. And now with all that out of the way, let's get back to this tent review.
And here, ladies and germs, is the fully set up little bivy tent. Figured I'd give you guys a little walk around, kind of show you what it looks like. Hopefully that camera angle actually showed you some of the setup. I kind of realized afterwards it may not have, but it's as simple as laying out the tent, and you drive stakes into these 6 anchor points all along the tent, and then you run your tent poles from these little grommets up through and out the other side to the other grommet. Same over there. And then you use the final 4 stakes to drive in guy lines. 2 for each tent pole attached to these little attachment points there. for added support. Now, this originally came with some super thin, like bright red cordage for the guy lines, but obviously that's kind of counterintuitive to the whole point of this shelter being low profile and camouflaged. So I switched that out for olive green paracord, as you can see. But there it is. Probably only took me like 10 minutes, I think, to set that up. And of course, with practice and just having a bit more urgency about you than I did in that little setup time lapse, would probably shave quite a considerable amount of time off of that setup. But now that I have it set up, I will crawl up inside and show you guys how much room there is on the inside, and then talk about the things I like and don't like about this extra large olive green body bag of a tent. Okay, so to open up the tent, underneath this little flap here is where your zippers are. So I just feel until I find one of the zipper tabs. There it is. And I just drag it across like so. Down comes the rain fly, which you can see has this little hooded vent hole here, which has mesh on the inside. And then behind that is another layer of bug mesh that has the same zipper closure system. There it is. As I'm opening this, I'll briefly go over the modifications that I made to this tent. This little black stripe here at the edge of this zipper cover flap was originally reflective white. So I blacked it out with an extra large Sharpie because, again, I'm using this for trying to be a super stealthy, low profile shelter, and having that reflective white there just completely undermines that. But now that I have both of those flaps open to get inside, I will literally just go in feet first, like so. This tent is obviously much longer than I am tall. My feet bottom out right there. And of course, with this up, you still have out to here for actual headroom and such. So maybe if you're like 6'5", this probably wouldn't fit you, but I would say probably up to maybe a 6'2", 6'3" individual, you would probably fit in this. If you are claustrophobic, I'm going to take this off because it's blocking my view of the camera. If you are claustrophobic, you should probably pick a larger shelter. But fortunately, I am not. This has, I don't know how well this will show up on camera. It has just a plain black floor, but the rest of it, as you can see, is olive green. These are also available in orange, if memory serves, blaze orange, but of course I went with olive green because, again, signature reduction is key for the application that I'm using this for. You can see, if I lean on my side here, there is plenty of room here next to me where I could fit my rifle and my chest rig in here, or other such accoutrement. If I so desired, I could probably even fit my combat ruck in here because it's kind of a smaller one. But yeah, so you could fit equipment in here to some extent. Obviously, you're not going to be spreading out a lot in this thing, but just to show, right, if I sleep on my back, I have no problem fitting in here. And just to drive that point home, let me close it up and hopefully you guys can still hear me. So obviously, if I wanted the rain fly done up, I would have had to have zipped that up first, but I just did the bug screen to show the space when this is closed. And of course, if it's really hot out, you could just leave it like this with the rain fly undone to permit more airflow in here, which is actually the first thing that I will say I dislike about this tent. It is lacking in ventilation. Not to the point, I want to be clear about this, it is not lacking in ventilation to the point where it would be dangerous to the inhabitants, as in, you know, you're not gonna suffocate in here. But it does get quite stuffy, especially on hot nights. The only ventilation is this one vent in the rain fly. This one vent, which does work, but just not as efficiently as you would probably like in order to be as comfortable as possible in this shelter. It does get a little bit stuffy. One thing they could do to remedy that would be to put a hooded vent just like the one in the rainfly at the foot of the tent. That would allow air to much more easily circulate through the tent. So that's probably a modification you could make on your own if you were so inclined, which I, in fact, may very well do someday. But as it stands right now, you know, again, it's not like a danger to you. You know, you're not going to be harmed. You're not going to die from lack of air. Like, you're getting enough air to stay alive, but you are not getting enough air to be super comfortable in this thing. Now, obviously, on colder nights, that might actually be kind of nice because that stuffiness also keeps in warmth. But just be aware, in its unmodified state, you will get a very small amount of condensation on the inner walls of the tent, not very long after you crawl in. And again, that is because of that lack of ventilation. So not the end of the world, but it is, of course, not ideal. So to get out, you can literally just crawl out like that. Let's go into the things that I do like about this tent. The things that I do like about this tent are, of course, the affordable price tag. This Bivy tent only cost me $45 on eBay, and you can even sometimes find them for less than that. And considering this is a clone of a Bivy tent, the name of which I can't remember at the time of recording, but this is, from what I understand, a clone of a Bivy tent that normally costs almost $200. So 45 bucks for a clone of something that normally costs $200 for this ultra light, ultra compact hiking tent that works very well for a super lightweight sleep system for a combat sustainment ruck. That's good in my book as a prepper on a very tight budget. Another thing I like about this is, of course, the fact that it is available in olive green for signature reduction purposes. As for something to kind of go back to what I dislike, is the fact that it comes with bright red guy lines and this bright white strip that I had to black out, because of course those things severely undermine the whole point of getting this in olive green, which is for signature reduction. But overall, I would say for the price point, as long as you understand its limitations, this is a very good choice for a lightweight sleep system on a budget that will actually keep the bugs off you and the rain off you. Also, one last thing real quick before I sign off. Another nice thing about this tent being as small as it is it is very low to the ground, which means it has a very low signature, which allows you to do this. Where are you? There you are. $5 on Amazon will get you a little scrim net like this, probably about 6 feet by 4 feet in size. And I can take this, and it is just enough material to cover the whole tent, like so. If I can do this with the wind. Come here, you. There we go. So, as you can see, and of course you can get these scrims in various different colors and camouflage patterns. This one is kind of an M81 woodland knockoff, but as you can see, that covers up the tent quite well and helps to reduce its signature even more. And in a woodland environment, that would pretty much just blend right into the forest floor, which is very cool. I like that a lot. But with that all being said, that is all I have for you lovely chuds and chudettes today. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it and found it somewhat entertaining. As always, I'm your host, John A. Whitman of the John Doe Prepper channel. If you like this video, consider leaving a like and a comment for the YouTube algorithm that desires your soul. Check out the Discord link in the About Me section on my channel page, and consider subscribing to the channel. I would appreciate it very, very much. We are almost at 140 subscribers as of the time of recording this video, which I am very grateful for. So, once again, thank you for watching. I am John A. Whitman of the John Doe Prepper channel, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.
We will all go together when we go, all suffused with an incandescent glow. No one will have the endurance to collect on his insurance. Lloyds of London will be loaded when they go.